protect you!
Sus! Chi!
Good.
The moons.
I'm not
I
going.
need to finish the ritual. Joan and Jolt, hear me.
The power, it belongs to me!
You did it, Chimera! You ended the eclipse!
Plans.
But that means...
The moon gate has closed. We are trapped, yes. But Mulamir is dead, and Calgrontit has been defeated.
Oh, hello! You always find things in the last place you know.
Calgrontit, I wonder. I'm actually pleased to see you, Cadwell. Come, Chimera. Your people await their queen.
Thank you, my friends, for everything.
Queen Chimera, have you been injured?
I am fine, just tired. But look, the moons are no longer aligned. Tell me about the dragons, the Euraxians. What is the state of our forces?
Our scouts tell us that most of the Euraxians and dragons fled when the moons parted. Our own troops have not returned, but the Main has sent an envoy.
An envoy from the Main? If you'll excuse me, I have other business to attend to.
We did it, Five Claw! We put the moons back in motion and defeated both Mulamir and Calgrontit. I want to thank you for everything. Elsewhere is safer today because of you. Just being on the plane of Jode clarified the memories I inherited at the Shadow Dance Temple. I saw the ritual in my mind and performed the actions. Oh, too bad the Dragonhorn did not survive. At least it lasted long enough to banish Calgrontit. He did grow larger with every infusion of power he absorbed, but the horn dislodged him from Jode's core, which allowed me to finish the ritual and end the eclipse. After that, a concern for another day, yes? I cannot be named queen without the Main's blessing. That, however, is my worry. For now, you should rest. We must honor our fallen and learn the fate of our troops at the Moongate. And after that, we will celebrate a new dawn for elsewhere. We have accomplished much, my friend. We overthrew the tyrant, Euraxia Tarn, defeated Zumog Foom and the Betrayer, even killed at least 2 dragons and made the moons move in the sky. If only I could shake this sense of impending doom. Nothing specific. Not really. I guess this sense of worry will stay with me until I know the fate of Gareshri, Zamarak, even Prefect Kalo. I would return to the Moongate, but other matters require my attention. Namely, the envoy of the Main. That is just it. I have no idea. Moons. My head pounds. The effort I exerted at Jode's core was not without a cost. Five Claw, could I convince you to determine the fate of my soldiers and our friends? I appreciate your assistance, my friend. Find out what happened to Gareshri and the others, then bring word back to me. Meanwhile, I will try to find a few moments to rest before I meet with the Main's envoy or worry about the other dragons. Far from it. But without Calgrontid and Mulamnir to lead them, they are solitary beasts without a grand plan. Colossal, dangerous beasts to be sure, but not the overwhelming force they were under their dragon leaders. There is little difference between myth and history for the Khajiit Five Claw. Whether Euraxia discovered the Kunzari stories, and that led them to the Betrayer's head, or Zumog Foom reanimated the head and then learned the tales, who can say?
Okay.
Zamarak is happy to see you, friend. After the dragons entered the Moongate and you followed, this one worried that all was lost. But then, the moons parted, and suddenly everything seemed all right. Just what you would expect. We held our ground against the swarming Euraxians and their necromancers, repelled the dragons as best we could. This one let the desert wind flow through his limbs and claws, while our soldiers rallied to his side.
Did you need something?
Between the Khajiiti militia and the Cygnus irregulars, we held them off. When the moons separated, the Euraxians broke off their attack and scattered to the four winds. The remainder will be a nuisance, but they pose no threat to the kingdom. Zamorak doesn't know for certain. We faced mostly the Euraxians on the upper ridge. Prefect Kalo commanded the ballisti, so he could tell you more. This one does know that when the moons began to separate, the dragons roared in rage and flew away. Zamorak hopes to serve as Queen Kamira's claw and defend the throne as he was trained to do. If she will not have me, well, Gareshri has many plans for improving life in elsewhere. This one would be happy to help in any way he can.
It's good to see you, Five Claw. We only just returned and I have yet to report to the Queen. Kamira is alright, isn't she? We saw the moons move and the eclipse end, but we haven't heard what happened after you entered the Moon Gate. After I was caught in that dragon blast, Zamorak tended to my wounds and took command of the soldiers defending the upper ridge. I'm sorry to say that I was in and out of consciousness for most of what happened next. I know that I am still alive and grateful to be back in Rimmon. It's a miracle, thank the moons, that the city is free once more. If you want to know what really occurred at the Moon Gate, you'll need to ask Zamorak and Prefect Kalo. There are those among the troops who need the healers more than I. But perhaps a few hours in the soothing
turn
springs
the
will
light on.
restore my strength.
Yeah, that's a
I
line.
need it too. I have much to
You
do
did
to help
line.
Kamira restore Enequina to its former glory.
I like the light off.
Oh, it's you. Good to see
You
you're still among
alright?
the living. I suppose you had a hand in getting the moons to finally pull apart? Hang on, I need to finish my report. I find that it's best to write it all down while it's still fresh in my mind. It's all in my report. Our troops held their ground and fought bravely. We lost many good soldiers, Khajiiti and Imperial, but we did our duty. We slaughtered Euraxians by the score and kept the dragons at bay until the moons broke apart. It was crucial to our survival. When the moons separated, the dragons broke ranks. They seemed to lose their drive, their purpose. They stopped attacking and flew off. Not a moment too soon. We had exhausted both our strength and our ammunition. The ones that survived Zamorak's charge lost what remained of their courage when the dragons abandoned the field of battle. They scattered like sand roaches and ran in all directions. I doubt they'll give the militia too much trouble going forward. We still have a lot to do to heal the scars left by Euraxia and her mercenaries. I'll offer our services to Queen Kamira and Lord Gareshri. Let them use us where we'll do the most good. If that's what they need. But the Cygnus Irregulars are mostly military engineers, scouts, and trainers. We have a lot more to offer a kingdom that needs to be rebuilt than just blades and shields. That was our original mission, to help elsewhere.
Outsider, this one must speak with you. This one never expected to set foot in the capital of Nequina again. She hoped the militia would succeed, but she didn't believe they stood a chance against the usurper queen. Kasia understands you played a significant role in these events, yes? Such wonders you have accomplished, and to have touched the face of Blessed Jode. This one is in awe. Despite all that, the Main has sent me to determine what happens next. Where is Lord Gareshri, the Speaker of the Main? The healers? This one hopes the Speaker wasn't gravely injured. As for your question, we must settle the matter of Enequina's succession. Kasia must determine if Chimera is the legitimate heir to the throne, and if so, recognize her claim. Certainly, but anyone can make such a claim. To be accepted by the Khajiit, she must be recognized by the Main. With Gareshri indisposed, will you stand with Chimera and vouch for her heritage? If so, please tell her I am ready to meet with her. Before you return to Chimera's side, this one requests an additional favor. The Main gave Kasia a sealed letter for Abner Tharn, but he refuses to see me. I understand that you and he share a special bond. Perhaps you could deliver the letter. The specifics concern the Tharn alone, but this one believes it deals with the artificial eclipse and its impact on Khajiit society. The moons hold great sway over the Khajiit born under them. What does this mean for those born during this eclipse? No matter what caused the eclipse, Joan and Jode joined as one. When this occurs naturally, one born then may become the next Main. But during a false eclipse, succession becomes a concern. The Main hopes Tharn can explain the arcane implications. The Main cannot be everywhere at once. That is what the Speaker and the envoys are for. For now, the Main's duties do not include Enequina. But know that the Main's heart is everywhere in Elsewhere. Now, please deliver the letter to Abner Tharn.
Abner, you simply must stay for the ceremony. It's not every day we get to see a lovely cat receive a crown.
Nonsense. And don't call me Abner. Besides, I think I've overstayed my welcome as far as Chimera is concerned. You and Cadwell, the two of you just can't leave well enough alone. No one was supposed to notice as I slipped out of Rimmen. Of course, very little has gone according to plan since the Wrathstone tablets set me on this path. I am neither sentimental nor enamored of pomp and circumstance. My time in Elsewhere has shown me that I have limits. I am not the battle mage I was in my younger days. Besides, I hate parties, small talk, speeches, canapes, totally unbearable. I watched firsthand as a remarkable young woman became a leader. She's already a queen. Everything else is simply ceremony. I've lingered here long enough. You were an able enough traveling companion. I may call on you again sometime. An intriguing question. Are Khajiit born under a forced eclipse next in line for the Main? But this other bit confirms my suspicions. I must travel to Palatine at once. I'm sure we'll see each other again. Until then, farewell. We accomplished much, but I fear we haven't seen the last of Calgrontide. I must investigate reports coming from the south. You, however, have a queen to crown. Take Cadwell with you and make sure he behaves. And tell Chimera she did admirably. We saw no body, and there's no reason to suppose Calgrontide couldn't escape from Jode just as we did. He absorbed a remarkable amount of energy while the moons were aligned, after all. I'll send for you if and when I confirm my suspicions.
What does the fox say?
Oh my goodness.
That song just came on and
Nevertheless, this one has asked the Outlander to stand beside Kamira. Should I dis...
I love cattle gore.
Okay, Drake.
It's delicious.
Garishri told me you found them.
We need to get
He filled me in on what happened during the battle at the Moon Gate. Dragons and necromancers, I understand. But politics and coronations, they twist my tail, and the regalia, it pinches. Moons, I miss my leathers. I am having many thoughts, but I know what I must do. Like Anequina and my other ancestors before me, I must stand tall and accept my responsibilities with humility and grace. Provided the Main's envoy confirms my right to the throne. The woman is inscrutable. I think she just wants to see me suffer until she acquiesces and places the crown on my head. Before the full weight of the kingdom falls upon my shoulders, I want to tell you something. I want you to know I appreciate everything you have done for elsewhere. For me. I do not believe we would have survived without your assistance. Now, I understand the envoy asked you to stand beside me at the ceremony. Are you ready, my friend?
The healers were able to do wonders, my friend. I almost feel like my old self again. I will secure Kamira's claim. You just stand beside her and support her. She values your presence, as do I. But where is Kamira? I expected you to bring her in.
Who will confirm that Kamira is the daughter of King Hemekar and the rightful heir to the throne of Anequina?
I will. As her guardian all these years, and as the Speaker of the Main, Kamira is the rightful heir. Come forth, daughter of Hemekar and Numara. Come forth, child of Anequina.
Kamira, do you accept the duties of the throne? Will you lead this kingdom and protect its people?
I do, and I will.
Know then that the Main accepts and recognizes your claim. All hail Kamira, Queen of Anequina!
I promise to serve our people, and I offer thanks to all who helped achieve our recent victories. Finally, there is one I wish to honor. One whose assistance in these matters was unprecedented and invaluable. Fiveclaw, my comrade and friend, please approach the throne. Courageous Fiveclaw, I will make sure your deeds are sung by my people. They will be told from one generation to the next. As Kunzari passed into legend, so too will you. Then say nothing, my friend. Just know that you helped deliver my homeland from tyranny. You helped me avenge my parents. You saved us from dragons and undead. We will never forget that. I will never forget that. You appeared when elsewhere needed you most. In our most desperate time of troubles, you helped restore our nation. You will always have a place here, my friend. And I want you to accept the greatest award I can offer. I name you Champion of Enequina. There are still dragons to kill and Euraxians to deal with, but now it is time to celebrate. Take a few moments, talk to our friends, then enjoy yourself, champion. You earned it. Just what you would expect. I listen to problems and I try to find solutions. I suppose I must coordinate with our allies in the Dominion at some point, and there are still stray dragons and Euraxian deserters to deal with. So, the usual things. It is time for different adventures, Fiveclaw. I must lead my people and erase the memories of the Usurper Queen. May her name be blotted from the histories. Of course, I may find time to slip away and explore a ruin or two. Every now and again.
That was his name? My wife elfed me.
And all hail Fiveclaw, whom I name Champion of Enequina.
I'll just take my bow. Alright, I'm out.
Hello! Rigert was just asking this merchant which mound of colored powder he should eat first. Rigert says red. Merchant says please go away. We find ourselves as stalemates. But Rigert has bigger problems than what to eat for lunch. As soon as Rigert returned home from successful diplomatic endeavoring, the Skald King sent him to elsewhere with gifts for the cats. Rigert is always given the most important, most faraway missions. Problem is, Rigert lost the gifts. So many ways. First, a courier brought Rigert's package to Riverhold instead of Rimmen. Then, as our ship was boarding, a werebear attacked and stole honey needed for my special sweetbread. Last and not least, Rigert's famous minstrels are missing. Thank you, friend. Retrieve Rigert's package from Thadara in the Riverhold marketplace and meet me after in the Stitches. Rigert's diplomacy waits for no man, or woman, or cat. But be careful. Sweaty threats fill elsewhere's deserts. The finest coats in all of Skyrim. A gift for Canon Reeve Jusdo to make peace between the Nords and Khajiit. Rigert would already have them if his courier wasn't completely incontinent. The package was delivered to Thadara in Riverhold Marketplace. It's impossible to find Windhelm-worthy honey in elsewhere, but this cat merchant says honey flowers from Merryvale Moon sugar farms will work for baking sweetbread. Rigert's cooking is sure to make peace between the Nords and Khajiit. Rigert hired Skyrim's best band, the Screaming Mammoths, to play for Lady Issa. She has great influence with the cats, so Rigert needs to gain her favors to clinch peace between our peoples. Last Rigert heard, the band was at Valenwood Gate.
Finally! Over there!
Didn't I say we'd find them here?
Pay up, Captain!
Ah, put it on Zaji's tab.
We've been tracking you for hours. Luckily, Casca never forgets a scent. Saisahan needs you back at the Dragon Guard Sanctum. Something about a letter and a new threat to Palatine. Saisahan received a letter from the High Chancellor, the great Imperial battle mage Abner Tharn. According to Sai, the letter indicates you all need to meet as soon as possible. All Sai would say was that Abner Tharn mentioned a threat to Southern Elsewhere. I could tell the letter troubled him, which makes me downright terrified. Will you go and meet with them? I hated leaving Saisahan alone with Nafalar, especially in the mood he was in. Get to the Dragon Guard Sanctum as soon as you can. Oh, and it's good to see you again. Zaji and Casca feel the same, even if they won't admit it. Not a bad mood, not exactly. It just seemed to me that whatever was in that letter from Abner Tharn made him uneasy. Nafalar was also acting strangely. I'm worried that something terrible is about to happen. Honestly, after everything we've already witnessed, it could be anything. All I know is that whatever form this new threat takes, it has both Saisahan and Abner Tharn worried. Nafalar paced around like an anxious Senshrat awaiting the approach of a summer storm. I think he senses the coming of whatever threat Abner Tharn uncovered. You'll see for yourself when you return to the Dragon Guard Sanctum. Honestly, after everything we've already witnessed, it could be anything. All I know is that whatever form this new threat takes, it has both Saisahan and Abner Tharn worried. Nafalar paced around like an anxious Senshrat awaiting the approach of a summer storm. I think he senses the coming of whatever threat Abner Tharn uncovered. You'll see for yourself when you return to the Dragon Guard Sanctum. Honestly, after everything we've already witnessed, it could be anything. All I know is that whatever form this new threat takes, it has both Saisahan and Abner Tharn worried. Rebuilding an order takes time. The Sanctum is coming along, but Sai wants to get more chapters established as soon as possible. The dragons remain a threat, one too large for a single group to deal with.
There are many.
Not gonna go down there. I'll take the stairs to safe way.
Another ship went down. Got too close to that island off the southern coast.
That scent on the air. The mask bearer approaches.
Good. Now we're just waiting for him. Just in time, my friend. When my old companion arrives, I'd prefer to have someone I trust at my side. Abner Tharn. According to his letter, the two of you worked together after the Prophet incident. He even praised you. I know, it surprised me too. The old snake also said he's bringing a friend, that we have important business to discuss. I know as much as you do. He just mentioned a threat to Southern Elsewhere. Between Tharn's cryptic letter and Nathalar's strange mood, I'm feeling uneasy myself. Talk to the dragon. Find out what troubles him while I wait for Tharn. I appreciate you dealing with Nathalar. The dragon senses my unease over Tharn's letter, which only makes his own anxiety more pronounced. Meanwhile, I need to keep myself from thrashing the old battle mage the moment I see him. Abner Tharn is conceited, opinionated, condescending, and a pain in my arse. And those are his good qualities. All that said, I have the utmost respect for the battle mage. When danger appears, we could do worse than to have Abner on our side. Paces, he grumbles, refuses to speak except in riddles, and he's only gotten worse since Tharn's letter arrived and my own mood soured. We both know something terrible gathers strength in the wilderness. We just don't know what it is. His letter indicated a threat to Southern Elsewhere, but that was the extent of his revelations. I suppose he wants to tell us in person. Prudent, if frustrating. After all, one should never commit certain details to paper. I'm beginning to sense that. I told him about Nathalar and the Dragon Guard. While he still punctuates every sentence with an insult, he seems genuinely concerned. That's different from the man we once adventured with.
The bearded one speaks as though I am not perched within striking distance and can hear every syllable he utters. I might find his hubris amusing in a different light, but the light that remains fades as darkness comes. A riddle to those hindered by limited perspectives. A profound truth to one such as I. Something ancient and powerful assaults my senses, but the path ahead is unclear. I sense a darkness. Perhaps an absence of light. It sets my scales on edge. My feeling is my own. It grew from a tickle behind my broken horn when the fool of a battle mage opened the halls of Colossus. Now it swirls like a black storm around me. Quite unpleasant. Perhaps the new arrivals can shed clarity on what is to come.
A portal? Here? See what you can make of it.
Tarn, how do you stand it? My head pounds like an orc drum.
You get used to it. And that was your best one yet.
Abner Tharn. You arrogant, vexatious son of a bleary-eyed...
Save your posturing, Sai. I missed you too, but we have a bigger problem to deal with. I see that my instructions were followed to the letter. The champion of Aquinar, Sai Sahan, and the dragon Nathalar together in the same place, and I have brought Chimera. We have much to discuss. It concerns Calgrontide. Calgrontiid absorbed a good deal of the core's power before we stopped him. I hoped he was lost in the void after we dislodged him, but like us, he made his way back to Tamriel. I've been hunting for him ever since. Not just that. I pieced together his ultimate plan. Calgrontiid boasted he would become the equal of Akatosh, and your dealings with Ludvalon and the cult of the New Moon suggest they were preparing for an ascension. Isn't it obvious? Calgrontiid plans to become a god. There's an island off the coast, Dragonhold. In the Kunzari legends, it was the dragon's seat of power. I can't open a portal to it, I can't even scry it. It's protected by potent magic. You faced the cult of the New Moon? The cultists revere Calgrontiid. They must have a method for getting to and from the island. I assume their base at the New Moon Fortress holds the answers we seek.
Strange green stone. Does that sound like what you're looking for, Tharn?
Indeed. Since I read about it in your reports, I've wanted to examine it. Chimera, can you...
No more portals, Tarn. Not right now. I have duties other than conveying you around, you know.
Oh, very well. Sai, let's talk. We'll meet our friend at the fortress.
Don't you know that interruptions at nap time cause mange of the fur? You mean other than the cultists that were trying their damnedest to disembowel us? Wait a moment. You're going back there? What in the Two Moons could possibly warrant a return visit to that awful place? Huh. Now that you mention it, I did hear a few of those nutters mentioning sending the green stone to an island, and they were certainly sacrificing something on that altar in the amphitheater. I am not a mage. I wouldn't know a portal from a hole in the ground, but that's where they were gathering the green, Aeon stone, I think they called it. If they have a way to move the stone, it must be in the amphitheater. That's where I would look. May the moons protect you on your mission. If you need a helping claw, come find me after my nap. I heard Aelia say something about meeting with the Queen of Enequina, which I take to be some sort of euphemism. As for the captain, he went to collect his special order, a case of plum brandy, the good stuff. Already storing it away, I'd wager.
I could use a break. I could use a break. Another ship went down. Got too close to that island off the southern coast. Mark this with words. That island just is not right.
You need to rest, old man. Don't pretend otherwise.
If you insist.
I expected the New Moon cultists to disperse after the death of Latvulan. I suppose Kalgrantid has other ideas. We need to determine how the cultists reached the Dragon's protected island. And according to Tharn, the cult operates both here and on the island. They must have a way to get from here to there. The stockpile of Aeon Stone and this amphitheater are as good a place to start our search as any. That entrance has most likely been sealed in response to what you and she accomplished here. A structure as ancient as this must have other entrances, though. Let's find one and make our way to the amphitheater. Tharn will be fine. He just needs to catch his breath. Which means I get a few blissful moments without listening to his scathing observations. Now let's move quickly. Kalgrantid must be dealt with before he can complete his ascension. The fortress is built atop the cliffside, and the river runs along its base. There must be another way into the fortress along the river. I can feel it in my beard. We need to find another way in. Let's follow the river.
Ah, shit.
This looks promising.
You found a way inside, and without my help. Good.
Back on your feet, old man? Let me know if you need a litter.
A jest. I find it hard to tell through all that facial hair. Now focus. You'll need your fighting skills inside. You never cease to surprise me, Sai.
What now, old man?
In the past, I considered you nothing more than Varen's muscle, but here you are, leading a new generation of Dragon Guard.
Your point, Tharn?
Just contemplating how some people adapt to change. Wisdom from an empty well here in the belly of our enemy. Let's stick to the matter at hand, shall we?
portal flees. There is work to do on my
Calgonti,
island.
here. We must find him. Calgonti!
Shall be the first to behold the rise of the Dark Aeon.
The portal just closed. Tharn, can you open it?
Perhaps, but not by myself. Champion, let's talk.